So let's talk about DID management. This was something that we just saw, but let's go into some details. Our pain before. So if you've been in the telephony space for a while, or it's something that you've experienced with different teams, managing the phone numbers is truly a hassle. Whether it's one system where you had a command and it printed a command line output that you had to find an available number. As we grew into a more connected world where we had different systems, we've had mergers and moving to the SIP and cloud world, maybe a spreadsheet was our only way to really keep track of this. So as you can imagine, Antoine and I might share a spreadsheet, and both of us are trying to provision numbers through the spreadsheet. Maybe I picked the same one as him. Maybe I read the wrong line. Maybe my spreadsheet's inaccurate. It doesn't connect to our live system, so who knows how old the data is. This might be our only way of managing our numbers, but with Kurmi and this DID number management, of course, we're able to offer some really great compromises and enhancements to the way that you're assigning phone numbers. So not only do we have the live integration with Kurmi, we know exactly what numbers are there. We have advanced number management, which means that we can classify and categorize numbers, whether it's a direct routing number, calling, or operator connect in the Microsoft Teams environment. Kurmi is informed of each of the appropriate uses of those phone numbers. As we saw in the demo before, with our color coding, we know that the red numbers are already assigned and the green ones are free for us. With organizations that have offices around the world, we know that we own different numbers and different usages. So we know that with Kurmi, we can break down the partition of different regions and locations. And so when we provision a number user in Paris, we know that they get the appropriate phone number. And whether they're a call center user or it's an internal extension, Kurmi is going to manage those numbers with all of those use cases there. So it makes it super simple. With Kurmi as well, we have the ability to report on our number management. So we can get capacity, we can get alerts, and as an administrator of the operations using Kurmi, you can see exactly where your numbers are going and then think ahead. We can plan ahead to know when we need to buy more. We can reserve numbers very easily in Kurmi, whether it's that they have a special use case that's for the future, someone has left the organization and we want to hold that number for 30 days. Kurmi allows us to easily create these reservations and provide some description. And as an administrator, a daily user of the Kurmi, your teams can free up those reservations as needed. So there's a great way to manage those numbers, and who wants to go back to spreadsheets? So let's take a look how that looks. We already saw a little bit, but maybe Antoine, you can show us some more.
Yep. And for this second use case, I will show you here my skill in Excel and also in Teams management. I'm not using PowerShell. You'll see that PowerShell right after, but the use case I'm doing right now is quite simple. I have a user, Emily, and I want to assign a different number to that user. So I want to change that number. What I need to do is here to have like my two screens next to each other where I can change the number I want for Emily. So I can free the first number and I can here select the other one I want. So checking if this number is available, validating on Teams side to see if it was really available. But if it was not, I will have like a very nice red error message over there. And once it's assigned, I will here like be sure that I'm also updating the spreadsheet, which is something that maybe some people must forget sometimes to time. So you see here, seems quite simple, but you have a couple of back and forth to do. You have to be sure that everyone is synchronized. You have to be sure like, okay, if I'm taking that number, if I'm reserving a number, I will correctly update the spreadsheet. All of that is done here manually. And no, I did not use PowerShell for that. I could. I will use PowerShell for the next use case. You can do that here on the Teams admin portal. Again, one thing that has not been done over there is that I should have an extra step to go to Entra and update that number just assigned to the user, which is also like an additional like step to do on the portal. So with that said, I will just go back to here, the same use case, this time with Kurmi. And I will also extend that use case to the reservation Kyle mentioned, because I think it's something super important to keep your DID management very simple and also like very visual. So that's what we have here created with Kurmi. We want to give you this capability of having a really like clear view of numbers available and not available, not only in one single tool, but in all the UC application you may use. Okay. So same use case, same user. I want to change the number of Emily. Here, you just select Emily and you will have this live view of, based on her location, what are the number available. You can let Kurmi decide the first number to assign. You can pick a number. You can search by category. You can also like search for a specific number and see in live all numbers available. You don't have to worry about selecting a number that is green and then clicking on apply and not working. This is live. This is a view here of like all your numbers really used. So you should not have to be worried about that. And now this number is assigned to the user and also right back to Entra. Kyle mentioned also something that is interesting. We can create like view of numbers per location. That's exactly what I'm showing you right now. So here you see the number used for a given location, which is Paris. And I'm switching now to New York, and I can see here that I have a different set of number. I can create a reservation. I can say that this will be used for routing purpose because we're setting up a new gateway or like thing like that. I can do whatever I want, and all of that is live. So if another administrator is also using here Kurmi, you can see in live that this number will be reserved, so no more available to assign to any other user. Again, we save some time. We also save you a lot of here like time to troubleshoot why this number is marked as available, but it's used by someone else somewhere in the company. You have this live view and you can see that across all your different applications.